Hey guys, it's Dr. Justin Marchegiani here. Today we're going to talk about how and why vegan or vegetarian diets can make you fat. Alright, so let's dig in. So this article here kind of slid by my desk in the last few days. It was a pretty big article by the Journal of Molecular Metabolism. And they were looking at satiation, what it takes for someone to be satiated. Now, in this study, they were looking at certain foods and how weight loss was promoted, and people's satiety, their ability to feel full, was signaled. Now, in this study, they found that the foods that help signal satiety the best were going to be foods that were high in these amino acids down here, arginine and lysine. And lysine is one of these ones that are primarily found in animal proteins, okay? Now again, pork, beef, chicken, fish, these were the big four. After that, we did have some plant-based proteins or plant-based foods that signaled these tannosites pretty well, which were avocados, lentils, plums, and almonds. And we'll talk about that in a bit. So the most satiating foods tend to be animal proteins, and the question is why? Because of these arginine and lysine amino acids, and lysine in particular is one of these that's kind of lower in plant-based proteins. So animal proteins have a higher amino acid content, but at the same time they also have a lower carb content as well. That's the benefit that you get with a lot of animal proteins, is the carb content is almost non-existent. That's the big benefit. Where a lot of plant foods, you tend to have to combine, rice and beans or various lentils to get a complete protein. And again, yeah, if you're doing soy, which is not good, there's a lot of other estrogenic mimickers in there, highly GMO, a lot of trypsin inhibitors and oxalates and mineral blockers in there. So soy isn't that great. I mean, you can do some seeds, you can do nuts, you can do quinoa, and then you can do like protein powders like pea or rice or hemp, but from just a whole food perspective, there's not a whole lot unless you jack in the carbohydrates. Now, this article here in the Journal of Molecular Metabolism, September 2017, I'll put the link down below in the reference section so you can look at it. Now, I get my titles pretty provocative. I want to get some clickbait going, but here's the deal. People that are insulin sensitive, they may be able to handle more carbohydrates that are present in a vegan vegetarian diet. If you just go to Chronometer and you just play around, go to chronometer.com and just try to create, let's say you want to get 0.5 gram per pound of body weight. So I'm 210 pounds, right? I want to get 110 or 105 grams of protein a day. How do you do that without putting in protein powders and without doing soy protein? How do you do it? My carbohydrates are going to be I would say at least 300 grams a day of carbohydrates. You can play around with it, a little homework here. Now, the benefit that you get with animal protein is I can have the same level of protein and still keep my carbs relatively low. So if I'm trying to be more ketogenic and really get the ketones going, right? Ketones are the byproduct of fatty acid metabolism. I can do that eating high quality animal products. And also the fat, even the avocados, the fat really help trigger these tannosites. Now these tannosites, right, these are kind of new in the research. They were discovered in 1954. They sit right in the third ventricle in the brain. They have a direct connection between the hypothalamus and the ventricles, and it's basically the interplay between the cerebral spinal fluid, which is kind of what the spine sits in, and the central nervous system. So it's a direct connection between the nervous system and the brain, and it helps trigger satiation. When people have weight issues, the big thing is, we talk about calories in, calories out. Well, why do some people need more calories? Why do some people overeat? Why do some people have a hard time tapping into their stored body fat? And a lot of this has to do, number one, are you eating foods that tell your brain you're full? Number one. And number two, are you eating foods that are going to allow your hormones to allocate or partition fuel so it can be burned, put it in the furnace, versus put it in the fat? So foods that tend to drive up insulin are going to basically be storage. It's going to tell your body to store various carbohydrates, primarily in the liver and the muscles first, then the fat last. That's why lifting weights and exercise can help, because it wrings out and depletes those muscles, so you have more, basically a bigger sponge to sop up that glucose mess. That's why exercise and lifting can be helpful. But again, in the end, if we eat foods that tell our body to partition foods, partition our energy towards burning, right? Keeping the carbohydrate down, healthy fats, healthy proteins that are rich in these amino acids down here, we create more satiation, we're more full, right? And we're directing our energy and our calories towards burning, towards our mitochondria, and not towards our fat cells for storage. Now, again, like I already kind of reiterated, but the reason why vegan and vegetarians have a massive disadvantage is because to get adequate protein levels, they tend to have to eat a lot of carbohydrate. So I know everyone's thinking, I'm going to get a whole bunch of comments down below, and please comment, I'm a vegan, I'm a vegetarian, I'm perfect weight, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a triathlete, I do CrossFit. I get it, there are exceptions to the rule, and like I said, caveat, if you tend to be more insulin resistant, it will be a lot harder for you unless you are doing lots of exercise to burn up that carbohydrate. So I'll repeat it one more time. If you are insulin resistant, you are going to have a harder time losing weight on a higher carbohydrate diet because your insulin receptor sites are less sensitive, they're numb, so your body needs more insulin, which then tells your body to shunt those calories you eat towards your fat cell to store it versus your mitochondria to burn it. So the people that tend to do well on these type of diets are going to be ones that are more insulin sensitive. They exercise a lot too. And again, even that, I can go into some of the plant-based or the animal-based foods and some of the fat-soluble nutrients that you get and a whole bunch of other, amino acids, omega-3 fatty acids, the longer chain ones. And again, on the vegetarian vegan kick, you'll probably get a lot more omega-6 fatty acids, which will shunt your prostaglandin E2s down that inflammatory pathway, which may be more promoting of inflammation. But you can do it right. You can do it right with avocados. You can do it with lentils. You can add in lots of non-starchy vegetables. You can add in good fats from coconut oil, olive oil, chia seeds, maybe even some quinoa too. You may have to supplement some hemp or rice or pea protein to keep your proteins up without keeping the carbs up. So that you can do it. Also B12 and probably some omega-3 fatty acids because the delta-5 desaturase enzyme can be a little bit weak. That's the enzyme that converts ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, the omega-3 in flax, to the longer chain docosahexaenoic acid and eicosapentaenoic acid, the 20 and 22 carbon chain fish oil fats. So again, recap, great study here. Check it out. These foods really help boost appetite, satiation. They increase satiation, they decrease your appetite, partly because of these amino acids. These tannosites really help this communication feedback loop. And again, these are the foods that were highest in these amino acids that told these tannosites to increase satiation. So again, this is Dr. J here. Check out the reference below. Hope you took this information to heart. Again, a paleo template is going to be the way to go, and you can adjust those macros, proteins, fats, and carbs to basically according to what meets your needs. And again, I eat a paleo template. I probably eat more vegetables than most vegans and vegetarians because most vegan and vegetarians eat too many carbohydrates. They're eating too many starches, or they're eating too many fruits, or they're eating too many grains. Now again, you can still be a healthy vegan by doing a lot of the non-starchies and eating lots of really good plant-based fats and maybe supplements and proteins here or there. So you can do it, but again, you're still missing on some of those really good fat-soluble nutrients that you get from only from animal products, as well as the B12. You gotta supplement that if you're a vegan too. Again, this is Dr. J signing off. Give me some comments below. Want to hear it? Give me a subscribe, give me a share. Appreciate it, guys. You all have an awesome weekend. Take care.